Broads Media.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Broads. That's an extremely important series. Unfortunately, we'll have to discuss Aaron Nola and whatever the hell that slop was. But there was so much greatness involved. Nick Castellanos, Sunday afternoon, big home run. We're not playing games. Let's go. We're kicking your ass the day after you kicked our ass, but we responded. And it wasn't just about a series against Washington, and it wasn't just about a series against an abysmal, terrible, horrible, pathetic, brutal, disgusting Detroit Tigers team. I totally forgot which team it was, so I used a lot of words there to stretch it out so my brain could remember. And yes, Nick Maton's face popped right up into my head at the perfect time. That bat flip I'll never get over. He got to Aaron Nola. Who doesn't at this point, though? Am I right? I'm sorry. I didn't need to take a shot at him. Here's a stat from Corey Seidman that just seriously makes you want to scream at the top of your lungs because Aaron Nola is so good, but Aaron Nola is so bad at the same damn time. Aaron Nola retired 8 in a row to start his afternoon, and then with the 1-2 count allows a double, then Mookie Betts doubles, Freddie Freeman singles, the Phillies fall behind 2-0. But when you look at some of his stats, okay, he went 6 1/3, 6 earned runs, 7 hits, and 2 walk batters. And I apologize. I should totally be starting the show off with positivity and excitement because I am thrilled with what I saw at CBP. We saw a Kyle Schwarber walk off, and we saw a Kyle Schwarber triple as he's trotting around the bases. There's nothing better than the jolly fella in baseball running as fast as he possibly can. But holy hell, it was electric. And this team is starting to figure it out a bit. Trey Turner starting to hit the baseball hard. Nick Castellanos is an all-star. Bryce Harper is MVP caliber Bryce Harper because, damn it, he always is. And you get a great start from Ranger Suarez, and you get a great start from Taijuan Walker. So much so that he's pissed off and fired up in the dugout because he wants to continue to go out a third time around the lineup. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Moral of the story is this is beautiful. Okay, it's starting to get fun again. They are enjoyable to watch, and they're playing a brand that's fantastic. Good defense. Cody Clemens made a couple of fantastic plays over at first base. Brandon Marsh with a leap as he's running towards the wall. Didn't like him getting caught on the bases. Garrett Stubbs is laying down a bunt. You're scoring runs. You're responding after the Dodgers get on the board. It's all great stuff. But getting back to that Aaron Nola thing, well, it's not all great stuff. That base running bothered me, but ultimately good defense, and they're playing a fun brand. Anyway, Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola has allowed a home run in 10 straight starts. Are you listening to me right now? 10 straight starts. The only pitchers in the majors this season to do so. But during that same exact stretch, he has a 0.96 whip, and opponents are batting 195 over that same exact span. So, it shows you when he's killing it, it's gross. When he's starting to do bad and it gets awful, the home runs start to fly out of the park. Man, it's so extreme one way or the other. And I don't know what to do about it other than my eyes bleed during his outings and my heart breaks during his outings. I said that morning, Saturday morning, before the game, I'm making my cup of coffee, I'm chilling, and I'm tweeting out, this feels like a good day for Aaron Nola to be special. This is it, baby. Grab that ball just like you did at the end of last year when the team needed a W to help secure a postseason spot. Aaron Nola was a monster. Can we please? No, 9-0. But. They showed mental toughness. I won't lie to you, Friday night, I missed the most important part of the game. I had no idea that they were about to go back-to-back. The Dodgers, that is. Oh, man. So, you're up. You're up nice. You're up comfortably. You go to Matt Strahm after Ranger Suarez with a great start. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run. But Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman go back-to-back. I go let the dogs out, and my one dog is obsessed with this soccer ball that has 6 or 7 strings from it. She bites down on the one string, and she shakes her head, and the ball starts smacking her on both sides of the face. She looks like a total dope. She looks like an absolute moron, but it keeps her occupied, and she gets all of her energy out, so when she comes back in, she's willing to lay by my feet and start to snooze. You hear the snoring, and you know you're good for the next couple hours. So why not? Phillies are up big. I'll go run out back. 5 minutes max. I'm telling you, I'm not going to stay out there all night. I just want to give them a little opportunity. I walk back in, and it's 4-4. 4-4. What the fuck happened? In what world? What did I miss? Then I see the replay of Matt Strahm getting beat up. Man. Yet, Kyle Schwarber, he puts so much pressure on the opposing team. You never know. You just never, ever, ever know. And that's why he gets the most at-bats. Because it doesn't matter what he did the previous 3 at-bats, the previous 4 at-bats, the previous month. June comes around, and here's a walk-off for you. Just a big-time way to start this series off and putting a stamp on it. Now, unfortunately, you followed that up with just misery. And with Aaron Nola, I like that Rob Thompson had his back. But we're not stupid, right? Everyone who watches baseball and sees the new pitch clock and knows that Aaron Nola has a serious problem with it, way more of a problem than anybody else in the majors, it seems. He whines and complains nonstop. Him throwing the balls back because he doesn't like the texture of it. Rob postgame cracks me up. He's discussing the sweat when the ball sits in the pocket of the umpire, and then throughout hours, what happens with the umps? They start to sweat, and when they start to sweat, the ball gets slick. And I'm like, dude, I get it. I respect it. You're standing up for your guys. You're standing up for your players. That's what you're supposed to do, but it's pretty embarrassing because we know that he's just trying to find a loophole, and he was apparently, I heard on the broadcast today that at one point in the game, he was warned about it, and they did catch on to what he was doing. And it's like, man, that's problematic for me that you're still doing it. Like, it's June. You had enough starts. If you took a slow, cautious approach to spring training, which they did, okay, but now you have plenty of starts into this. I don't know if you prepared your body at all for it, because if you did, I think you would at least get accustomed to it to some degree, but you're scratching and crawling, and you're losing the mental side of the battle with the pitch clock before it even begins if you're trying to dissect the rule book. And you know they looked through the rule book because that was also mentioned in the post-game stuff. Well, where's it say it in the rules? That means they went home and they read up on it, and they got all the details they were looking for to try and get Aaron Nola some extra time. You know what I think you should do instead of that? Get used to the 10-pitch clock, 10-second pitch clock. Be better. I think if you put more energy in that compared to reading all the rules, maybe you'd figure this thing out by now. At what point does it click, or is it just always going to cause him issues when he's out there? Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. The Aaron Nola experience. It's devastating. I've been trying to get this piece of hair, by the way, that's flying out of my hat for the last 10 minutes of the show as I peeked down on the screen and noticed it. All right, so 9 minutes in, I get it. Might even pop through again. What do I know? I have no idea. Ranger Suarez in that 5-4 walk-off win, though. In the 5th inning, he had a great inning with, it was Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Will Smith. And you can make the argument that that was one of the cleanest innings we've seen out of any starting pitcher this year. That was beautiful. Ranger, willing to grab the ball whenever. And look at the difference on how he grinded through his adversity that he had to deal with during spring training. Super slow start. Already starting to get that consistency and the Ranger Suarez that we know he can be. Compared to Nola, which has a question mark every night. Ranger, there was legitimacy to his preseason start. And that trickles into where we are now. But if you get a glance on how it's starting to shape, think of the quickness of it. Zach Wheeler has been going through some stinkers. His last 3 starts is Dodgers, National, Mets. Mets, 6 2/3, 2 earned runs. Nationals, 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Dodgers, 6 innings, 1 earned run. It's pretty impressive by the Ranger. Desperately needed, for sure. So, there was a new lineup for Game 3. And, before the season began and we were getting carried away with what you want to do with the lineup and who you want to bat where and all that stuff, and I would fight everybody about Kyle Schwarber. There were so many fans saying, who cares if there's 2 lefties in a row? Put Schwarber 2, lead Turner off, put Schwarber in there 2 if you want to keep his bat active. If they weren't trying to push Schwarber in the 5 or Schwarber in the 4 batting cleanup because they want him to produce more RBI, they're like, okay, if you do put him at 2, then you can have Schwarber and Harper as your 2-3. Well, you're seeing the teams like the Dodgers try and take advantage of that, so Rob made a decision to change the lineup. Alec Boehm returned to the lineup, although he had an 0-for-4 day. Kyle Schwarber batting first, Turner batting second, Nick batting third, Harper batting fourth in the cleanup spot. So you have Schwarber and Harper separated with 2 righties in the middle, which I think is a smart move for Rob Thompson to make counters based off of maybe what some of the pitching decisions were for LA. Taijuan Walker was great. They pulled him after 83 pitches, 0 earned runs, 5 innings. I didn't love the move in real time. I'm not going to go back now and act as if, I knew it was going to work. I didn't love it. With that said, though, I just want to play devil's advocate for a second. Let's say that Rob Thompson decided to let him go again. With the information that the 3rd time around the lineup, his walks go aggressively up, and he doesn't have the same level of production. And let's say that was mentioned on the broadcast. Well, Taijuan Walker seems to be getting the nod from Rob, and the numbers against the lineup a 3rd time through, it can get shaky. And then 3 runs were scored, 4 runs were scored. Would you say, well, Rob had the info? Isn't that his job to get in front of a potential disaster? If things screamed, this is going to go wrong. We've seen this before. Taijuan's not locked and loaded yet. So get what you can out of him and go to your pen early because we could have saw it coming. The numbers say it. They're right in your face, right? Would you say that if the result was Taijuan gets walked? Or Taijuan gets walked. His name's Taijuan Walker. Taijuan gets crushed and starts walking guys. It did go south, though, afterwards. A terrible challenge. I have no idea why they even tried to challenge that. And then Gregory Soto let up a home run. That's what they did challenge, but it was an obvious homer. The team responded, though, and had the managers back. Specifically looking at you, Castellanos. But Stott, big at-bat. Turner, a couple of hits. They have that edge to them right now, though. And that's what I'm taking a lot of pride in. When you put the 3 series together, so yes, they beat bad opponents. And if you wanted to wait until they beat a good opponent, I had no problem with that. But it's about kind of stringing them together. 4 or 5 series in a row against bad opponents. I'm just saying, once again, we're just trying to play devil's advocate so you can get where I'm coming from. Let's say it wasn't the Dodgers. It was Nationals, Tigers, Oakland A's, then the Nationals again. That's 4 series against crap. If you win all those series, while we acknowledge it's not against greatness, 4 series wins in a row is about the longevity of it. 2 or 3, 2 or 3, 2 or 3, 2 or 3. Mets are imploding. Mets are falling on their face. Make it a few in a row so there's sustainability. You're supposed to beat bad teams. That's what the Dodgers do. The Dodgers beat bad opponents. The Diamondbacks beat bad opponents. All the teams you aspire to be are doing what you're not taking any credit out of. And I've been on the record, not really with my needle moved just against Washington, but now that it's 3 series in a row and one included the Los Angeles Dodgers, and you did it in your home ballpark when you're starting pitching, 2 of your 3 starting pitchers are looking like they're at least finally finding their rhythm. And Castellanos is an all-star, and Trey's hitting better. There's a lot to that. Alvarado returns shaky on Sunday afternoon. But you got to give him some time to work through the rust. He'll come up large for you. There'll be a time you need him. And he screams at the top of his lungs after a big strikeout and pounds his glove. All right. We'll run the Anytime Hotline. Let's do this. Let's listen to you after this tremendous series. And now I'm pumped for Arizona. Later start. We'll see how the week goes. There's so much more value now in keeping the hot streak alive. Shut everybody up who had concerns. Say, this is who we are. You might not like it. I hate the fact that we start off slow, but I promise you, we're what you think we are. We just have to find it. You got to give us more time. It's uncomfortable. It's always unsettling. But believe in us. I think the Diamondbacks are a good team. And now you're going on the road where you don't do necessarily well, and you're feeling good about yourself. Let's see if we can package that up and then let this same feeling and the same style of play, let that travel with you as you hop onto the plane and get to the desert. You know how this game can be wild when it comes to momentum. Individually speaking, if you're at the plate and you're red hot, something about a 2-week run is gravy. Same with the team. And you can see the opposite with the New York Mets right now. When it rains, it's not even pouring. It's major floods, and we're talking hurricane. People are losing their houses. Unfortunately, this stuff happens. It's a major weather storm where it's a crisis, and everybody get the hell inside and hide in their basement and do what they got to do so they don't get into trouble and they keep themselves alive. That's where the Mets are actively. Let's be the opposite so they feel pressure. Oh, man, not only are we playing poorly, but we got to focus on a Philadelphia team that we just swept start to make ground. The Marlins, their run differential, I don't think that's something that they can keep up. So it's between the Phillies and the Mets for this 2 spot in the division. I'm not ready to strip the Atlanta Braves no matter what happens because my whole life just says Atlanta Braves baseball wins the division. Except for the best Phillies run of their existence, which was a nice time to grow up with as Philadelphia sports fan. Here's the thing, though. It set you up for false expectations. My whole generation believes that that's real in reality. When actually, they're just the losers more times than not. But not now. Not now. And that's why we're excited. So, Anytime Hotline. Let's listen to you. You're more important. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Oh, hold on. So I switched over to my Mac. So I apologize. Switched over to my Mac. Have to change settings. Let's run this back.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. Way to freaking go, Phils, taking that series against the Dodgers. This is so confidence boosting for the rest of the season. This makes me feel like we're back. This makes me feel like the Phillies are showing up to these games, that we're going to be the team we thought we would be all this time. Turner's hitting, Nola's pitching. Yeah, he didn't have that great a game against the Dodgers in the second game, but still, we're showing up. The games are going the way we want them to go, and the Phillies are playing better baseball.
Oh, man, I don't know what happened to your phone there, but I get your point, and I understand your excitement. I'm going to definitely crush Aaron Nola significantly more than you did. I can't gloss over the fact that Nola needed to be big, and this team needed him to set the tone in a game two when you have an emotional W, and the fans were losing their minds, going nuts. Think about how loud CBP was on that Friday. You're up big, you lose the lead, it gets deflated, you go, no, not this way. Please, not this way. Please, not this way. Go into your pen after Rangers Ranger and Matt Strom pisses it all away. Back-to-back homers, and you're in disbelief looking around with your beer, your water ice. You're at the ballpark talking to the people next to you. Did they just seriously let that thing slip? Did they really just let the Dodgers tie it back up? That's trash. Yet, Kyle June Schwarber. Kyle June Schwarber is the leader. Just like he spoke to Taijuan Walker after getting pulled. Veteran leadership. We've seen plenty of examples of him doing that since signing his contract, but that's the value. Just worry about the win. Let's just stay focused. You had a great game against a great lineup. Don't sweat it. Rob liked that. He was fired up after that. That's what we all want from a competitive look at it. It makes a lot of sense. At the same time, there's a bigger picture. Maybe there's a confidence look at it also. You leave the game inspired. You leave the game looking to build off of it. Let's say Taijuan Walker was coming off of 4 excellent starts. 7 innings, 1 earned run. I think there's more wiggle room. There's more of a luxury even with a third time through the lineup. When you walk a lot of guys like he has, I think it's justifiable. It's not Zach Wheeler. And let's be honest, Rob Thompson in the World Series stripped Zach Wheeler of a beauty to put Jose Alvarado in, and Yordan Alvarez became your father. If you're willing to pull Zach Wheeler in the World Series, hey, Taijuan Walker, it's a June game, and you've stunk more times than you've been good. You'll probably get pulled. I'm just saying. Let's think about this. I want him to be pissed, though. It's a good sign. He pitched 3 days rest earlier this year. He's a grab the ball and go guy. Awesome. I need him to pitch well, though. So I'll focus on that part. Let's see if he can put a few together. And then that leash should grow. At least that's how I see it. Rob's going to manage the way Rob manages, though. And this seems to be, in year 2, a very similar thing he's willing to do, which I don't mind and I don't like it at the same time. It's a case-by-case study. If it's a 5th starter, a 4th starter, a 3 starter, your ace, what inning is it? Where's the other team at in their lineup? What's the recent starts look like? What's the personal matchups look like? Who's well rested in your pen? Have the last few starters gone short where you're leaning heavily on your bullpen and it's been taxing? So you need to ask more of your starter, even if there is some troubles and is some worry. There's a lot of details that matter and a lot of data that goes into each decision. I think I'm okay with how this one played out. Didn't like it at the time, but I understand why they did it. That's probably a better way to simplify it. I get why Don't love it. Not going to lose my cool about it, though, because it's Taijuan Walker and he doesn't deserve that type of, I don't know, like that much wiggle room for me right now. Who does he think he is? That kind of thing. Whether that's right or wrong, that's just how I feel. What's next?
Outside of a pretty bad Aaron Nola start against a good team, nothing really shocking there. Great weekend for the Phillies. I mean, all you can really ask for in most situations is to take 2 or 3 from your opponent, and especially a really good opponent like the Dodgers. So, hey, they got something going here. I believe they won now 7 of their last 8. Now they go to Arizona, where Arizona has historically been a really tough place for the Phillies to play, and we'll see what they do there. But really good weekend all around.
It is a great weekend, and it makes this week more fun. There's nothing worse than when your team's playing bad, and then a lot of these games start to become blah because they suck, and they're losing a ton, and they're losing to teams that they should beat, and they don't look like they're inspired. That's the worst, especially when there's a series that you should care more about. Maybe Oakland is just going to run through because it's Oakland, and they're one of the worst teams in the history of the sport. They are that embarrassing. The Diamondbacks are 40-25, and now the Phillies are 1 game under 500. I want to see 3-1. You could live with the split, 2-2, following 3 straight series wins. At the same time, though, I want to keep this statement going. I would love 3-1, man. 3-1 would be chef's kiss. Because you play the A's before a huge 2 series in a row at home. 3 against Atlanta, 3 against the Mets. I don't want to overlook the swing you're about to hit flying to Arizona. But there's something to be said about the momentum and feeling good about yourself. And I want them to be in a position where they feel good about themselves with that week of division rivals coming to town. We'll take one more.
Rhodes. Hey, great fucking win. Jude fucking Kyle Schwarber is a thing. Schwarber bombs, baby. After fucking pulling off the slowest triple I've ever seen in my life, he comes through big. That's what we need. We've talked about it all year. We need the big bats to show up in big moments, and he did it. Let's go, Phil.
I feel the same way, man. I lied. I'll take another one because I enjoyed that excitement and I enjoyed that hype of Kyle Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber triple. Kyle Schwarber triple and a walk-off. Does it get much better than that?
Bros, I'm sitting out here on my porch. It's a beautiful Saturday morning after your boy, who I call Fatty McGee, hit the walk-off home run to win the game last.
Oh, man. That's not right. That's not right. I don't know how to feel about this. See, the reason why I even hit play on this call was because the previous call got me feeling some type of way, positively. Throwing jabs at Santa? Here, we're throwing jabs at the Schwarbs? Makes me feel a bit uncomfortable. Can't lie.
Last night against the Dodgers. Now, I got a question for you. Alec Boehm comes back. What's this lineup going to look like? First of all, I don't think Fatty McGee should be batting leadoff. He's got Bryson Stott batting 6th in this lineup. That's a crime. An absolute crime.
I don't feel that way at all. And after they win on Friday night, that's your takeaway? First off, let's pretend you're the pitcher. Do you want to face Kyle Schwarber or do you want to face Bryson Stott more? It's not even close. It's not even close. It's not even close. It's not even close. If you had to choose who you face, it's easy. It's simple. I don't want to see Kyle Schwarber in that box. You're wrong to call him that, by the way. I don't understand. How do you hate Kyle Schwarber? How do you not like this? What would I make the lineup? Okay, I'll keep this simple and we'll end here. What I would do, and I'm going to pretend the whole moving Bryce Harper to the 4 spot because of the lefty-lefty thing isn't in play. What I would do is Kyle Schwarber 1, Nick Castellanos 2, Bryce Harper 3, Trey Turner 4, Bohm 5. Or no, JT Realmuto 5, Bohm 6, somewhere around there. Then you can flirt in your Marshes, your Stotts, your Clemens, however you want to operate. Whatever right-handed bat you want to try to throw in there at Edmundo Sosa, you could figure out 7, 8, 9. If you want to throw a lefty in there to break up a couple righties in a row, so be it. But my top 4, I think as of right now, I want it to be Kyle, Nick Castellanos, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, then you can do JT, Bohm, Stott, and go from there. That's my thought on it. But man, what a negative way to end things. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have went back to the phones. I apologize. I hated that. I hated the way that it ended. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'll try not to do it again. With that, great series for your Fightins, and I'll catch you on the next one.